Welcome to Heidamath NCAA Football Predictions Week 5. We're finally getting into the meat of the season. We've got some tough games and some big games this week. Let's just review last week real quick. 8-0, got all of the games correct. And as you can see at the bottom, my weekly and running season score, I'm doing really well. This week, I know I'm going to falter because I'm making some emotional picks. I am up front, I'm making some emotional picks, and that's okay. So we're going to start by saying that Army and Texas have byes this week, and Nebraska is playing Ohio State, so we actually have 4 game of the weeks. And the games were selected in consultation with my guest picker today, who did not ride a skateboard because we are at the house, so that didn't happen. The first game that we're going to do, oh, by the way, the picker, it's Jonathan, my oldest son, my firstborn. First game this week, Middle Tennessee is coming to Iowa. Middle Tennessee is 1-2 on a weak schedule. Iowa's 3-0 on a tougher schedule. What do you think?
Iowa, hands down.
By a lot or a little?
Double digits, but
okay.
Fewer than 25.
Fewer than 25. I think Iowa is going to control the game from the opening kickoff, and it will not be an exciting game to watch unless you're an Iowa fan and you like seeing your team score a lot of points. Okay, second game, Ole Miss going down to Alabama. Ole Miss is 2-2. They've had a couple of tough losses. Alabama's 4-0, and they haven't even had a close game. What do you think?
Conference rivalries don't necessarily do anything in the SEC. I bet Bama's going to be favored by at least 30.
So who do you pick?
Oh, sorry, Bama. Obviously Bama.
Okay, I pick Alabama as well. Next game, I forgot to mention at the beginning, we are filming this session of Heidamath NCAA football predictions in the state of Nebraska, which is the same location. Kirk Herbstreit and the crew will be doing game day. They're just going to be about 60 miles down the road in Lincoln, but we're going to do the prediction first, and this is the Nebraska-Ohio State game. Nebraska's 3-1, been relatively inconsistent in every game. Ohio State is 4-0. They've been inconsistent in every game. The line says Ohio State by a touchdown. What say you, son?
I say Ohio State by more than a touchdown.
I would agree with you. My heart wants to go with Nebraska, but to honor the Whitmans and other Ohio State fans, I'll go with you guys. They've both been inconsistent. I think they will both be a little bit inconsistent in this game, but in the end, Ohio State, I think, man for man, has more raw talent, and that will come through. Hi, Poppy.
And just to add on to that, if Ohio State makes mistakes, I'm not convinced Nebraska can capitalize on them.
Yep.
And when Nebraska makes mistakes, Ohio State will punish them.
Probably, but Ohio State has proven that they can be pretty inconsistent in doing that this season. So, next game, this is my emotional pick. Navy's 2-0, going down to Memphis to play Memphis 3-0. It's a Thursday night game, so it's fairly exciting. Navy had a bye week, so they had a chance to practice. Memphis's schedule has been harder. They've played better, and they're favored by almost 2 touchdowns, but I am going to pick Navy. I think Navy with the bye week and with the new offense that they've put in, I think it's going to confuse Memphis enough that they're going to pull it out.
And I would hate to play Navy. Just the triple option threat is so difficult to defend, but I don't think the numbers lie. I think Memphis is going to walk away unscathed.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that's our first of more than one disagreement we're going to have today on the games. Okay, so we had to pick 4 game of the week, and I noticed that San Jose State is playing at Air Force this week. They're both 2-1. I think Air Force's schedule has been stronger than San Jose State's, and I have a connection to both the Air Force Academy and to San Jose State, but I have a stronger familial connection with San Jose State. So even though Air Force is favored by 3 touchdowns, Kimber, I'm picking San Jose State in honor of you.
I'm not. Sorry. Air Force at home with the altitude. Air Force by, I don't think they'll cover the spread, but I bet they get at least a 14-point lead and then win by that.
So that was the second game we disagreed on. And both of those games were emotional picks for me, but I'm okay with having my win-loss record dip a little bit for an emotional pick that has an opportunity to come through with an upset. Okay, 3 games left. Next one. Clemson, they're 4-0, going down to North Carolina, who's 2-2. Spread hasn't been announced yet at the recording of this video, but you have to think the spread is in favor of Clemson by 20 or 30 probably, maybe more. You gonna go with North Carolina?
No, I'm going to go with Clemson. I like a good ACC matchup, but
This isn't going to be a good matchup.
no. No.
Yeah, we've got a good ACC matchup coming up in the last game we're going to call.
Yep.
So, who are you picking?
Clemson by fewer than 20.
I'm going to say Clemson, but I have no idea by how much. They will control most of the game. If you're a Clemson fan, you should not be sitting on pins and needles the whole game, wondering if Clemson's going to get their first loss. Okay, this next game, this is a tough one to call. Virginia's 4-0, and they're going to South Bend to play Notre Dame. Notre Dame's 2-1, but their one loss was to Georgia, and it was a hard-fought game. There were quite a few momentum swings going back and forth. Either team could have won that, but Notre Dame came up on the short end. They were at Georgia. They're back home, licking their wounds, and I think that will motivate them in this game. So who do you pick?
Notre Dame.
You pick
They're going to
Notre
be
Dame?
angry. They're going to be angry, and I don't think Virginia has had to face an opponent quite like them yet this year.
I would agree. I'd pick Notre Dame over Virginia. I think this will be pretty close, though. I think it could be decided in the last few minutes of the game. So that should be a pretty exciting game to watch. Of all of the games we've listed so far, I think this is going to, as the potential to be the most exciting game so far. But the 8th game that we're going to pick will most definitely be the most exciting game of the week to watch. Duke, 2-1, going down to Blacksburg. I guess they're going up to Blacksburg?
Yeah,
Up westish?
a little bit.
To Blacksburg to play Virginia Tech, who's also 2-1. This is a Friday night game, so Friday night lights, and this is not 2 high school teams playing on a Friday night. This is going to be a good ACC matchup. What do you think?
I like Virginia Tech. They've had the bye week, and yes, they've had more turnovers than any other team in all of FBS this year, but with the bye week, I think they've had enough time to work out some of the kinks. Bud Foster's not going to be happy with their performance last week, so hopefully they can pull it out.
Okay, and the last thing that I didn't put on your notes, but I always list the 4 teams that I think are going to make it into the college football playoff.
Okay.
And beginning of the season, I said Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Texas. I am sticking with those 4 teams this week, but Ohio State has been less impressive than I had hoped, and I'm considering in the near future, if Ohio State doesn't pick it up a little bit, dropping them, and I think there are a couple of SEC teams that might be able to fit in there, or Georgia or an Auburn, something like that. So I'm going with the same 4 again, which is Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Texas. Subject to change next week, we'll see. Do you have 4 picks? I'm kind of springing this on you.
Nah, I don't know. It's too early in the season for me to speculate. If I had to guess, I mean, the 4 teams you listed are all strong, but if Notre Dame goes on a run and they've got 1 loss at this point, if they can pick things up, they've got a shot at making it in. Georgia, are they 6th, 7th?
I think they're 5th.
They're right on the bubble too. I prefer to wait until we're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in right now is when you can start to see what a team's going to look like throughout the rest of the year, but a lot's going to change between now and the end of December.
Okay, and the last thing is Poppy needs to come up here. Come on, up, up. Oh, there's not quite enough leash. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Poppy. Poppy is my grandpuppy.
There we go.
And she is a precious little dog. She's been helping us do the picks, keeping us comforted here. And with that, we'll sign off and have a great week. Enjoy the football games this week.
Go Hokies.